Uber's mission is to go to every major city in the world and roll out an efficient, convenient, elegant transportation system. I like to think that Uber is creating a new way of getting around cities. First use case that matters in a city is going out. Maybe it's date night or maybe it's going out to the clubs with friends, but very quickly it starts to move into daytime use. You get used to pushing that button at night on Friday or Saturday. Then you're stuck between meetings and you need to get somewhere. And it sort of works its way from the weekend into the weekday. That simplicity around not having to think about how I'm going to get from point A to point B is huge. In cities around the world, especially the major ones, you have a very stagnant transportation ecosystem. A lot of times they don't work. Bringing innovation to this world, which in many cases really hasn't been innovated on in decades, can really bring diversity to a system that hasn't seen a lot of that. Uber is everyone's private driver, and the drivers are the lifeblood of Uber. We're bringing that kind of experience to the masses.
I started with one car and right now I have several cars. I couldn't see myself managing 5, 6, 7 drivers without Uber. I would have to have a whole office, dispatcher, and now it's easy.
I set my hours around my kids' school. Once I take care of them, then I can schedule any day, anytime I want to work. The freedom is the big component of my decision to join Uber.
So much about cities is how you get around them. If you can bring real efficiency, real convenience, and real comfort to how you move around that city, you can change the way people live in that city.
Welcome to Uber. This video will go through everything you need to know to be a great driver using the Uber system, so please listen carefully. The Uber system is made up of 2 different apps: the driver app, which you will be using to receive trip requests, and the user app, which riders use to request a car. We will have a demonstration later in this video, and we'll introduce you to both apps. Before we go through how the app works, you should know that providing professional and reliable service on every trip is the most important aspect of being a driver using the Uber system. We take pride in the fact that drivers using the Uber system are known worldwide as the finest professionals. The work our software does enables drivers to get more trips easily. This allows you, the driver, to focus more on client needs and maintain the highest level of service. To log in, press the red Uber icon at the bottom of your phone. If you have not yet logged in, you will be asked to enter your username and password. Press on the username field. The keyboard will pop up automatically for you. Type in your username. Then press on the password field and enter your password. Once you press the blue Sign In button, you will be logged into the app. Once you've logged into your Uber account, you are automatically off duty. Before going on duty, you will need to check into the vehicle you will be driving. Press Select a Vehicle at the bottom of the screen. You will see a list of available vehicles on your account. Select the vehicle you will be driving for your current session. If you or your partner have only one approved vehicle on your account, only one vehicle will be displayed. If you or the person you drive with have several approved vehicles on the account, multiple vehicles will show up on this screen. To go on duty, press the green Go on Duty button, and this will bring you to a map, which means you are on duty. To go off duty, simply press Go Off Duty on the top left corner of the app. You can go on and off duty as often as you'd like, depending on your availability. Our software allows for users to select from 2 different vehicle options in London. Uber Lux is our luxury option, and is mostly represented by long wheelbase BMWs, Mercedes, Jaguars, and Audis. uberX is our value option, which incorporates all vehicles 2007 or newer and are non-luxury vehicles. You can drive anything from a Toyota Prius to a BMW 3 Series to a Ford Mondeo while signed on the uberX program. Once you are on duty, you appear as an available driver on the Uber system. This means that when Uber users open their app and you are nearby, they will see your position. As they move their PIN to their exact location, the app will update to show them the closest available drivers. When an Uber user inputs their location and makes a request, our software sends that request to the nearest available driver. If you are the closest driver, your phone will begin to beep and blink, indicating that someone is requesting a ride. To accept the request, simply tap on the map. Let's go back and take a look at that more closely. Notice that you will have 15 seconds to accept the request. If it runs down to 0, the system will send the request to the next closest driver. Once you have accepted, you can begin driving towards your client immediately. You will see their location on the map, their address, their name, and their phone number. When you arrive to the client's location, press the Arriving Now button on the app. This will automatically notify them via text message that you have arrived. When the client approaches you, it's best to verify their name before you begin the trip. The best way to do this is to say, "Hello, may I have your name please?" They will give their name and you can match it to the name on your app. It's best to avoid asking questions like, "Are you John?" or "Are you looking for Uber?" as this may lead to you picking up the wrong client. Remember, if you pick up the wrong client, Uber is unable to pay you for the trip. Once the client is in your vehicle and they have provided you their drop-off location, press Begin Trip. This will let Uber know that the trip has started and allow our software to calculate the fare properly at the end of the trip. As you pull to the curb at the client's drop-off location, their final destination, press End Trip. After taking care of your client, you will see the total fare calculated, and the app will ask you to rate them on a scale of 1 to 5 stars, with 5 stars being the best. Tap on the appropriate star and press Submit Rating. You now have the option to either go to Map or request a fare review. Go to Map will take you right back on duty, ready to accept another request. This will be the case on the vast majority of your trips. There are a few occasions when you might need a fare reviewed. The easiest way to communicate with us regarding any issue or questions you have about trips is through the fare review function following each completed trip. When you press the I Need a Fare Review button, the app will bring up a list of options for you to select why you needed a fare reviewed. Select the option that most clearly describes why you need the fare reviewed. On occasion, you may be on your way to pick up your client and they decide to cancel their request. If an Uber user cancels their request, your phone will make a noise and will provide you a pop-up that they have canceled. After you press OK on the pop-up, you will be right back on duty, ready for the next request. There are also times when you may need to cancel a trip. The Cancel button is on the top left corner of the app. It is there as long as you have not already started the trip. Once you cancel a trip, you will receive a pop-up asking if you are sure you want to cancel. Press OK and select the reason that is most appropriate for your situation. If your client is not waiting for you when you arrive, it's best practice to wait a reasonable amount of time and attempt to contact them twice before you cancel the trip. For example, many drivers will wait a few minutes, then send a text message to the client. Wait another 5 minutes, and then attempt a phone call. This will give your client enough time to get to you and also shows you made a solid effort to contact them. If your client still doesn't show up after waiting, the trip can be canceled and the proper reason should be selected. There is no other reason to contact the client. Sometimes the address may be unclear or you're unable to see where the client is. You can simply double tap on the map where the client is or pinch to zoom on the map where the client is and zoom in to see exactly where they are. You can zoom in as far as you want and even see what side of the street they are on or what street corner they're on. When on duty, you can press the button in the top right corner to turn on and off heat maps. When enabled, these heat maps will show areas around the city that have high and low demand. Red areas are high demand areas, and blue are lower demand areas. A tip for arriving on time is to pay close attention to the ETA, or estimated time of arrival, when you are receiving an incoming request. You can see here that the rider will be expecting their driver to arrive in 6 minutes or less. Some riders like to provide their destination ahead of time. After you've accepted the trip, you can tap the I button in the top right corner. Scroll down to the bottom and you will see the rider's destination. This will happen about 10% of the time. When you are off duty, you're able to see your trip history by pressing the Account button in the top left corner, then tapping on Recent Trips. You will see your 10 most recent trips. During times of high demand, the Uber system is able to raise and lower rates minute by minute to ensure maximum trip requests. This benefits Uber users by making sure there are drivers available and benefits drivers by allowing more requests at higher rates. When there is no surge and normal pricing, an average fare is around £15. This means that if the surge rate goes up to 2x, the average fare now becomes £30. It's very important that you never quote a rate to a rider. Uber users are aware of the surge rate prior to requesting a ride. If riders have questions or concerns about the rate, they can contact Uber directly. Riders are asked to rate their experience after every trip. If they provide a low rating, such as a 1, 2, or 3 star, they will let us know what they disliked about the trip. The best drivers strive to get 5 stars on every trip and often maintain an overall rating of 4.7 stars or above, which keeps them in good standing with Uber. Here are some tips to getting 5 stars on every trip. Riders like when their driver is on time, because they may be in a hurry to get to their destination. Uber is about quality service, and riders like it when a car is clean and fresh. They also like it when their driver is dressed professionally, typically with a collared shirt. Communication is critical, so make sure you are acting in a friendly manner. Taking bad routes is our #1 complaint from riders, so using GPS and taking an efficient route to their destination is the preferred way to go. Here at Uber, we only want to partner with the best drivers. Here are a few things that we look at on a regular basis. Most importantly, we look at your quality service stats. This includes your driver rating and any comments or feedback clients provide to us. We also monitor cancellation rates. Our cancellation rate is generally low, so if we see a driver that is canceling trips on a regular basis, that becomes troubling. Finally, acceptance rate is critical to the success of Uber and the drivers. Being on duty and not accepting jobs will result in poor client experiences and drive clients away from the app. If you are unavailable to accept jobs, it's best to be off duty.